You cut words if you know your book is just way too long. My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing. So I want to be really clear. This person says they have 140,000 words already and they have 4 to 5 chapters left to write. They would gladly trade problems. And I have good news for you. This is not your problem. This is a problem for future you to worry about. This is not a problem you need to worry about while drafting. When you are writing down your first draft, the only job is to get that draft finished, get all the way to the end of the book, and then deal with whatever it is you have to deal with word count. Usually this is going to come in the form of structural edits. Anybody who's going to wind up at like 180,000 words, it is almost always going to have way too much backstory and world building, usually jammed into what you think is your first act. So you'll have entire chapters that are explaining how the world came to be, how the world was created, how the political system got built, how these people came to be in power, how all these people know each other. Make sure we understand how all of the marriage treaties work and why this person is trapped and all of that stuff. There's going to be a bunch of that stuff kind of up at the beginning. Try just chopping it all off and see how much of the story stands. This is easier to understand if we compare it to like modern contemporary realistic fiction. If you are writing modern contemporary realistic fiction, you don't explain how skyscrapers got built. You don't explain how cars came to be or how the criminal justice system came to be, even though there's a bunch of those things that don't make a lot of sense or seem kind of kooky dooks, or we don't even understand them. We just use those things every single day. You only really need to explain world building and backstory in so much as it impacts the character and the way that they move through the world. So a lot less of it needs to be on the page than you think. You as the author needed to write it. It wasn't wasted time, but it doesn't need to be in the book necessarily. If you are positive that that's not going to help you, then I would have you look at how many scenes you have and what each scene is doing. Every scene should ideally be doing more than one thing. It'd be great if they were doing all four of these things. So the first is pushing the plot forward. You're going to say, like, that's really obvious. If you've got a whole bunch of extra words, I think you'd be surprised how many of your scenes aren't pushing the plot forward. They should be exploring the world in a way that is fun and interesting to your reader, not just interesting to you because you invented all of these different eye colors that everybody has. It should also be exploring character stuff, so usually internal character changes, shifts, realizations, coming to new conclusions, all of those sorts of things. And external character stuff. Things are shifting and changing between this character and the people she is interacting with. If you've got 4 scenes in a row, each one is 1,000 words and it's doing one of those things, try combining them into one scene that is more like 2,500 words so it feels much more impactful, it feels more emotionally resonant and immersive and lush, and you cut 1,500 words in the process.